your manners that'll count.
They're gonna decide on the evidence, not my manners.
When your Uncle Terry was on trial, he was really rude to the jury.
Mom, Uncle Terry's rude to everybody.
I'm just saying, be polite.
Where are you?
By the water. Where we used to go after getting ice cream.
How does the sky look?
Luna.
Mom, what if I don't get out of here?
You can't.
Think like that.
An all-white jury.
Physical evidence that points to me. It's kind of hard not to. A guilty verdict, and I'm not out of here until I'm 45.
You won't forget about me, will you?
I'll make me a willow cabin at your gate, and I'll call upon my soul in the house.
It's from Shakespeare. They never let us read our own people, just a bunch of dead British guys. But
That one always stuck with me. It means I'm not going anywhere, baby.
those old British guys, they like to use a lot of words.
Time, Miss Spence.
I gotta go.
Kisakiti.
The eyewitness gave a physical description of a person leaving the motel around the time of the murder. That description matched the accused.
It was nighttime? Dark?
Yes,
The person was seen leaving, maybe in a hurry.
maybe.
I can't think of worse conditions for an accurate description.
Objection.
Careful, Miss Chang.
We found the deceased on the bed. We bagged his hands according to our procedure.
How many murders in Millwood since you joined the police service?
1.
So this was your first homicide. Handling evidence, maintaining the integrity of the scene was your first time doing all of it. Be safe to say that most of the officers, including you, were not competent to do the job.
Your Honor, really?
Miss Chang.
The substance removed from under the fingernails of the victim was human skin, likely due to an altercation with his attacker. We tested the DNA. It was a match to the accused.
Objection. Chief is not an expert in DNA.
You can read a report.
Overruled. Go ahead.
When we brought the accused into custody, she had scratch marks on her arms.
But at first, you brought her mother into custody.
That is correct. The accused mother, Geraldine Spence, had been involved in an altercation with the deceased.
But then she was released.
We were able to confirm her alibi.
So what made your focus change to her daughter?
Simple. She returned to Millwood that day and also confronted the deceased in his motel room, same place as the murder.
And upon questioning, did the accused deny being in the motel room?
She admitted she went into the room at or around the time of death.
So, opportunity. And motive. What did you discover about the relationship between the accused and the deceased?
She claimed to be his biological child.
Chief, when you took the accused into custody, were there other suspects?
Sure, some. Police are always accused of tunnel vision. But when you have the right person, when the evidence leads to a suspect so obvious, who has motive, opportunity, who hated him, who was in his room, her DNA under his fingernails, there's no reason to look any further.
Thank you, Chief.
Chief Mercer, you questioned a lot of people with the motive to commit the crime. But you only brought 2 people into custody. 2 Indigenous women.
Just following evidence, we had an eyewitness.
Yes. The eyewitness said they saw an Indigenous woman leaving the motel. Chief Mercer, would you consider yourself to be a racist?
Objection. Chief Mercer is a decorated member of the Millwood Police Service.
It's an important question. Lots of people in Millwood had a motive to kill David Hanley. It was Chief Mercer's job to decide who to pursue.
The witness will answer the question.
Chief Mercer, are you a racist?
No, ma'am.
Are you sure? Just a little bit?
Got great relationships with all the people in town. It's part of my job.
So you wouldn't treat anybody differently based on their race?
No, everyone's equal.
Whether somebody was white or if they're Indigenous?
Think I've made myself clear?
Just last week, you picked up a Millwood resident, Paul Ritchie. Outside the boot, Saturday night, you drove him home, you remember?
Sure, yeah, I do that if someone's had too many.
And he's white, Paul Ritchie.
Yes, Paul Ritchie is white.
White Paul Ritchie got home safely. What about Neil Bellegarde? A father, Millwood citizen, indigenous. He went missing from his neighborhood 2.5 years ago. His body was found 10 kilometers away, past the edge of town. It was January, -30. He was wearing a t-shirt, no shoes. Paul Ritchie gets chauffeured home. Neil Bellegarde gets a starlight tour. That's what they call it, right? A starlight tour? Dumped on the edge of town. 10 kilometers in Millwood in January is a death sentence.
I don't know what you're talking about.
He was in your patrol car that night.
Objection, how about some evidence?
Miss Chang?
An information request for outstanding warrants for Neil Bellegarde came in just after midnight from your patrol car. So why would you care about Neil Bellegarde if he wasn't sitting in the back of your car?
I refuse to answer your question until I consult with counsel.
Okay. I will go back to the original question. Chief Mercer, are you a racist?
No, ma'am.
The eyewitness said they saw an indigenous woman leaving the motel. Not coming out of the victim's room, not standing over his body. You made that assumption. That racist assumption.
June, you traveled to Millwood with the accused.
Yes.
And when you were driving, did you talk about David Hanley?
Maybe.
Miss Matheson?
I can't remember.
You told investigators that you discussed David Hanley, that the accused made statements about killing him.
I don't know. Last year, I was diagnosed with a brain injury from exposure to the chemical benzene. It has affected my memory. Sorry.
You made a timely recording of your statements to ensure their accuracy. You told police that your journal reflects the truth.
I'm not certain that I was in a position to know what is true or what's accurate.
Miss Matheson, you are directly contradicting your sworn statement. That's perjury.
As I mentioned, due to my condition, I don't recall my sworn statement.
You received immunity from prosecution in exchange for your testimony. That offers can be rescinded.
The witness made a good faith agreement with police in exchange for her testimony. Now, the Crown claims perjury, but perjury requires intent. Due to the severity of her brain impairment, the witness is incapable of forming the requisite intent for the commission of the crime of perjury.
Her testimony is necessary to establish premeditation.
I am not impressed by your tactics, Mr. Bennett, or by your choice of witness. How can she be expected to provide reliable testimony? The jury will disregard this witness's testimony. Ms. Matheson, you're dismissed.
With Taylor's testimony thrown out, it's very unlikely they can prove premeditation.
So no first-degree murder.
Which would be huge for us.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Your Honor, we'd like to add a name to our witness list. We call Joanna Chang to the stand.
Objection, Your Honor. She's the lawyer of record.
Our investigation has uncovered material evidence that Miss Chang failed to disclose.
Joanna, you need to call me back. I don't get it. My mom's birth certificate says she was underage, and guys like David get off with nothing. But not this time. I don't know how, but he's gonna pay for what he did. He's gonna get what's coming to him.
that voicemail was left on your phone 1 week before your father was murdered.
Your Honor, we strongly object to the use of this evidence in violation of the witness's right to privacy.
Voicemail is obtained legally under a search warrant and comes from the accused's outgoing calls.
The privacy right belongs to the witness. It was her phone.
Voicemails are stored in a central server. There is no inherent right to privacy.
All right, go ahead, Mr. Bennett.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Chang, what did it mean that guys like David Hanley get off with nothing?
My father was accused of engaging in sexual activity with a minor.
With the accused's mother, Geraldine Spence. Luna believed that she was the product of that alleged crime. And charges were dropped. That make Luna mad? She sounds really mad.
Objection, speculation.
Sustained.
You listened to that message over a dozen times. And then after your father was killed, an hour after Luna Spence was taken into custody, you listened to the message once again, and then you deleted it. You must have known that was relevant evidence. And destroying evidence in a criminal case constitutes obstruction of justice, an indictable offense carrying a jail time of up to 10 years.
I'm sorry, does he have a question?
Why did you listen to the message after she was arrested?
I wanted to make sure.
Of?
When I heard the message, I didn't think that he was in any danger. Luna was mad at him. A lot of people were. But she's not capable of harming anyone. If I thought that he was in danger, I would have warned him. I would have stopped it. I didn't want him to die.
If it wasn't evidence of guilt, why would you delete the message?
I don't know what happened to the message.
Well, according to our expert, that message was deleted immediately after it was listened to on that morning at 9:26 a.m.
On another case, I have been consistently the target of phone and computer hacking. My car was hacked. My office was bugged. Nothing that's happened on my phone or any of my other devices can be trusted.
It's a wild conspiracy. Wow. Are you saying, under threat of perjury, that you did not delete that voicemail?
It wasn't a threat. Luna was never a threat.
Answer the question.
I didn't delete it.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Was it that bad? And I don't even get a say. I don't get to stand up in front of the jury and tell them I'm innocent. I sit there and people tell lies about me. I loved looking at the sky when I was a kid. Prairie sky goes on forever. It's freedom. And they only give us a tiny piece of it.
Just enough to see what we don't have.
Sick of having no power.
What would you do if you could get out?
I have to think about what I'd do if I don't.
Wait. Are there advanced security systems that capture evidence of hacking?
Yes. Some hackers end up leaving digital footprints if they're not careful.
The deceased in this trial was also hacked. His laptop had an advanced security system. It took a photo of the hacker. Did you know the deceased, David Hanley?
No.
The privacy project that you worked on, it was being harassed by a major defense contractor.
Where is this going?
This will only take a few minutes. It'll be worth it, hopefully.
Quickly, the witness is here as a technology expert only.
The project was being sued by Lowand Industries, who claimed that your boyfriend, Noah Achari, was sabotaging their product and destroying their business. They were trying to get revenge on Noah. You were very protective of him?
Of him, of the movement, sure.
Was my father in possession of documents that you needed to help Noah, to help the movement?
Yes.
You were desperate to get your hands on them. You asked me to get them and I refused? You need to answer. Did you ask me to get the papers for my father?
Yes.
And did I refuse?
Yes.
And you were mad. You were trying to keep Noah alive.
Yes, maybe.
And after I refused, my father's computer was hacked. The same night that he died.
I don't know anything about that.
Have you been to Millwood before today?
No.
A long dark hair was found next to my father's body.
Objection, there's no hair sample in the evidence log.
That hair mysteriously disappeared from police files.
Your Honor, please.
Miss Chang.
Withdrawn.
May I be excused? I don't feel so well.
The bottle broke. You cut your hand. You tried to clean it up, but you left one little drop of blood in the bathroom. This didn't disappear. Someone was watching my father's room from the bar across the street, waiting for him to leave. Someone with an American driver's license. Will you show the court your driver's license? No? You went to Millwood that night. To protect Noah. To protect the movement. You snuck into his room after he left, and he caught you. You were scared. You defended yourself. And you killed him.
I didn't.
But not before you got caught on camera.
It was an accident.
Order! Order! Luna Spence. You have been charged with the murder of David Richard Hanley.
Your Honor, the Crown is... withdrawing the charge.
Miss Spence, you are free to go.
Don't hold on to this. How do I just move on with my life? Well, I know something about not being able to move on. You just keep trying. I saw a side of Millwood I didn't like. And I moved here when he bought us that house, and I thought I had to live in exile because of something he did to me. I'm going back to Longgrass. Mom, you're going home? We don't have to answer to David Hanley anymore. I know what you risked for me. I can't ever thank you enough.
No, you just do what you do. You're gonna make the world great.
You're better than you think you are, too, you know? Where's Billy?
He got a call, he had to go.
Isn't that your move? Come on. Welcome to the North End. Have you come to say goodbye?
I leave tonight. Just a short 31-hour flight with 3 stops. I also came to... I love you.
I love you too.
So, when do you head back to school?
I'm actually not going back to Montreal. I'm transferring back here and I'm gonna go to U of M. But this feels like home.
You heard from Molly?
I saw that she posted some pics on a white sandy beach somewhere.
You miss her.
We both had to grow. And And we had to be apart to do that.
Lena, you're so young. How do you know so much already?
I don't know. My ancestors, a great mother. And my older sister's no dummy either. Seriously, the North End could always use a great lawyer.
Well, you better hurry and get through law school.